So 1More and Earfun make some of the best budget wireless Bluetooth headphones that you can buy, and they've both released new models. So we've got the Earfun Tune Pro here, and we've got the 1More Sonoflow SE, and this is their updated HQ31 model, not to be confused with the older Sonoflow SE HQ30. Anyway, both companies sent me their headphones to review. Neither company is sponsoring this video, so you are going to get my honest opinion. So I thought it'd be fun to compare them against each other because they both cost around $50. So you'll know by the end of this video which one of these are right for you. First, we're going to look at the design and fit of these. Now, first up is the 1More Sonoflow SEs. And design-wise, it's got this nice matte finish to it, and this is obviously the blue one here. The headband itself is also metal reinforced on the band as well. Like, you can stretch this really wide. That's really good. You've also got this nice soft headband bit up here, which is covered in the faux leather for sitting nice and softly on the top of your head. Moving on to the earbuds, and they are the same nice soft pleather and a nice soft sponge as well. So that fine, when it sits on your ears, sits really nice and firm. I would say it's on the firmer side, so if you like a firmer fit to your headbands, or maybe if you've got a smaller head, then these are actually going to fit you quite well. They fit really nicely with glasses as well. They don't dig into my ears, don't dig into my head, nice and soft. On the headbands themselves, you also have the buttons. So on the right ear cup, you've got the power, you've got the volume up and down, which also does your tracks forwards and backwards. And you've got the ANC switching modes as well. We're getting to the sound cancellation, the noise isolation parts of this in a little bit later in the video. They do fold up like this. So they do fold up nice and small. Unfortunately though, there's no case with these. And I think at this price point, that isn't really unexpected. If you do want a case, you generally do have to pay more money. In the box though, with the 1More Sonoflow SEs, you only get, well, other than a manual that I've got here, you just get a USB-C charging cable. And it's a pretty short cable at that. So moving on to the Earfun Tune Pros that I've got here, and these feel significantly different, I think, to the 1More Sonoflow SEs. First up, they do way more. So they are 289.5 grams. So they're around 20 grams heavier than the 1More Sonoflows. Most of that is down to the, what I would probably call a more premium finish to the Earfuns. So the ear cups themselves have this metal finish on the outside, which looks really nice. It's this brushed grey metal across the top. You have a nice thick headband across the top in a matte black finish, and the same as the 1More Sonoflow SEs, metal reinforced headband, so you can quite happily twist it and it's not going to break, so it's going to stand the test of time. And then the ear cups themselves also have the L and the R inside the ear cups, so it's easy to tell which is which. Nice soft leather around the outside and a nice squishy memory foam as well. When you do wear these aren't as tight a grip on your head as the 1More Sonoflows are, so if you've got a bigger head, you might find that these are a better fit. I also do find that the ear cups are slightly bigger, or they fit my ears better. So if you do have slightly bigger ears, you might find these an easier fit than the 1More Sonoflows. And then moving on to the buttons, and most of the buttons on the Earfun Tune Pros are on the right ear cup. So you've got the volume up and down, which also doubles as play track forwards and backwards. And you've got the power on off button. And then on the left ear cup, you've got the ANC switching mode. These also fold up the same as the 1More Sonoflow SEs, and the Earfun Tune Pros also don't come with a case. But again, at this price point, I'm honestly not really expecting it. Still, that at least makes it nice and easy for chucking in your bag. They also come with a really long USB-C charging cable, which is pretty unusual, especially in a pair of budget headphones. And it also comes with a 3.5mm audio cable so that you can plug it in and listen to it over a wide cable too. There is a lot of similarity between these two headphones. So from like a connectivity perspective, they both have Bluetooth 5.4. So you're going to get a rock solid connection between your headphones and whatever you're connected to. And they also both come with the USB-C charging cable that I've talked about. However, you can't do listening over audio over a cable using the 1More Sonoflow SEs, but you can use the cable that comes with the Earfun Tune Pros to listen over cable to audio. Plus, that wired cable also means that you can listen to high-res audio over an audio cable, which is great. You can listen to high-res audio on the 1More Sonoflow SEs, but not over a cable. They use the LDAC high-res audio codec for that. So in a slightly weird shift, you've got high-res audio on both, but it's high-res over a cable on the Earfuns and high-res audio over wireless on the Sonoflow SEs. They do also both come with multi-point, so you can be connected up to 2 devices at the same time, so you can take a call and listen to music on your phone and your PC with both of these headphones. They also both have a low latency or a game mode, which will reduce the latency if you happen to be using these for playing a game. So moving on to the sound quality between these two, and both of these headphones are designed quite differently. So if I start with the 1More Sonoflows here first, well, these have a single 40mm driver, which support SBC, AAC, and the LDAC high-res audio, which I've already talked about. And it also has spatial audio. However, and this is probably the case for most headphones that I test, at most of the times, especially in the cheaper end of the headphones, I don't find spatial audio particularly effective, and I think it generally screws up with the sound too much, so I tend to turn it off. Now, out of the box, I thought these sounded, if anything, too treble forward, so a little bit too harsh for my ears. Luckily, you can go into the 1More mobile app, and you have a bunch of different presets. There's 12 different EQ presets that you can choose from, plus there is a 10-band custom EQ, so you can tailor the sound to exactly what you want. So this is the 1More mobile app. If you go into the custom EQ, if I want to go and change this every time I want to go and change one band, you have to wait till that setup for success has gone, and then you can go and change it again. And when you're trying to find the right band, the right EQ setting for you, and you have to keep doing this and pause in between, gets really annoying. The preset EQs don't have the same problem. You can quite easily just quickly flip around those. So I don't understand why that custom EQ takes so long if the presets are so quick. Once you do get these tuned up exactly how you want them, these sound all right, if not exceptional. Again, you do have to bear in mind the price point that these are sitting at. Now, whilst that might not sound like a glowing review, the problem is that these are headphones that are costing around 50 bucks. And then people will compare them against headphones that cost 500 bucks and go, well, these sound terrible. And they don't sound terrible. They're saying good for their price. So moving on to the Earfun Tune Pros. Now, these have 2 drivers in them. And at this price point, that is exceptional. So there is a 40mm and a 10mm driver, giving you more control over like the trebles and the bass. Out of the box, it is quite bass heavy though still, or at least it is for me. Fortunately, you can go into the Earfun app and you can tweak it to a bunch of different presets. So I've got the Earfun Tune Pro app that's here. So if I go into the equalizer, you have a range of different presets that you can go and change it to. It's a little bit slow going through the carousel, but you can go do that. Or you can go in and choose the custom equalizer, and there is a 10-band EQ, so you can go and choose exactly your sound preference, moving it up, down, whatever your preference is for your type of music. So I do boost the treble slightly on this for me because, as I said, it's quite bass heavy out the box. So I boost the trebles up a bit to give it a little bit more of a balanced sound. There's also the theatre mode that's here. I do tend to not use it because I think it messes with the sound too much. You can customize the controls on these, which is actually pretty cool. So you can go and set a couple of them up, say changing up to volume up and down, previous track, next track. So you've got a little bit of customization on the touch controls or the physical controls that are on these headphones. Now moving on to the ANC. So this is the 1More mobile app. There's only off, ANC on, or transparent mode, or which is the same as ambient mode, so lets outside noise in. You can't change the level of ANC or transparency like you can with slightly more, or you can with more expensive headphones, but it's still good to have ANC on like a $50 or even less with these pair of headphones. Now with ANC turned on, you can hear a hiss in the background. It's like a really low white noise, which you often get with cheaper ANC headphones. So you can hear it in the background here. If you're listening to music, you're not really going to notice it, but if you're not and it's quiet, you can hear it in the background. The ANC all round, I would say, is pretty good for a pair of headphones at this price. It's good at cancelling out the lower frequencies, not so much the higher frequencies, which is generally a bit trickier for any pair of ANC headphones. So it's more than good enough for most people at this price. Let me move those over here, and we're going to go and get the Earfun Tune Pros instead. If you go up to the top, you've got 5 different modes for ANC. Off, two different ANC modes. You've got strong, or what do they call it? They call it comfort. So think of it as high and low. There's a wind noise cancellation mode, which is really good if you happen to listen to these on a windy day. And you've got the ambient sound, which is the same as the transparency mode on the 1Mores or any other pair of headphones that you're listening to. So the difference between strong and comfort, I tend to just leave ANC mode up to max. However, if you are the type of person who maybe gets ear pressure from ANCs, then the comfort mode is going to be more, well, comfortable for you. And overall, I think the ANC on these do really well. I think that ANC in general on most Earfun headphones do a really good job of cancelling out background noise. It's really good at cancelling out the lower frequency noise, and actually pretty good at cancelling out some of the highs as well. You definitely notice less noise coming through on these than I did with the Sonoflow SE. You can of course turn it off completely if you want to, and that will help with battery life, which I'll get to with both of these in a bit. Now both of these headphones do have a mic in them, so you've got 2 mics inside the 1More Sonoflow SE and 5 mics inside the Earfun Tune Pros. So if you want to hear what they're going to sound like if you haven't taken a call on these, well, let's go do a mic test. So you'll now listen to a mic test of the 1More Sonoflow SE HQ31 headphones. So this is what it's going to sound like if you have to take a call on these in a quiet room. So you'll now listen to a mic test of the Earfun Tune Pro headphones, so you can hear what it sounds like if you happen to use these for taking a call in a quiet room. So now you'll listen to some simulated coffee shop noise playing in the background, so you can hear what the ambient sound in the room is like. If I now switch to the mics from these earbuds or these headphones, you're now listening to the mics on the Earfun Tune Pro headphones, so you can hear how well these headphones are cancelling out that background noise and making my voice clear and well heard. And now you're listening to the mic on the 1More Sonoflow SE HQ31 headphones. You can hear how well it's cancelling out that background coffee shop noise and making my voice clear and well heard above it. Let me know which of these you thought sounded better in the mic test in the comments down below. Now moving on to battery life, and there is, well, a fair difference between the two. So the 1More Sonoflow SEs, they have a battery life of 90 hours or 60 hours depending upon whether ANC is turned off or on. The Earfun Tune Pros, they have 120 or 80 hours depending upon whether ANC is turned off or on. Now obviously there's a lot of variables in that, so it depends what type of music you're listening to, like how bassy you like it, how loud you're going to have it playing, but either way, both of these have a really impressive amount of battery life. There's just more on the earphones. If you look at the fast charging side, well, you've got 5-minute charge with the 1More Sonoflow's SEs. They're going to give you 5 hours of playtime. So 5-minute charge, 5 hours of playtime. The earphones will give you 15 hours of playback from a 10-minute charge. So which of these should you get? Well, I think it really depends on what is most important to you, because if you want to have high-res wireless audio, then with LDAC support, the 1More Sonoflow SEs are really your only option out of the two, and these are on sale at the moment for $45. However, if you want to have the most battery life, then the Earfun Tune Pros are the best option with up to 120 hours of battery life, and they're on sale at the moment for $55. So which one you get really boils down to what is most important to you. I will put purchase links to both of these in the description down below so that you can go check them out for yourself. If you want to check out some other options though, then be sure to check on the link up here. Thanks for watching. If you have enjoyed the video, please don't forget to like and share it. Consider subscribing if you're not. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.